Hello everybody and welcome to the day. We've got a fun one today. I was just at a recent convention, and at that convention they have a festival in a box. So MagicCon, all in here. This went on sale on the Secret Lair website just a little bit ago, and everybody went and got it. There's Mystery Booster 2 in here. There's some Secret Lair stuff in here. But the point of this video is we are going to take that Mystery Booster 2 box and we are going to do what we've been doing on this channel, and we're going to build an entire commander deck out of it. We're going to take a look at everything inside. We're giving ourselves the usual, the command tower, the soul ring, and the signet. And other than that, we're going to go ahead and build an entire deck. You can get a command tower, soul ring, and a signet because they're in like every single pre-con ever these days. You can get them for like under $2 for all of those cards. So to make this commander deck make sense, we're going to give ourselves those 3 cards. But other than that, every single card, the commander, everything else in the 99 is going to come from what's inside this mystery booster box. After we build the deck, we're going to take it on over to Moxfield. We're going to port the entire thing in there, and we're going to take a look at everything. Our creatures, our bombs, our removal, our lands, all of that. Everything that we're able to build from this deck. Oh, and basic lands. We are allowing ourselves basic lands. If it comes down to having to put a bunch of basics in, that's something we can get from the collection. That is pretty much free. You could go to your LGS and get basics for a deck. I'm sure that they will just give them to you. If you enjoy this break and build series, you know that Magic the Gathering products are expensive, and you're like, how do I get the most out of this box? What's the best thing that I can do other than just pick some singles for decks I've already built? Make sure you're subscribed, because over here we are breaking boxes, building decks out of those boxes so that you can get the most out of the expensive products that you are buying. As always, we appreciate you watching. Let's get into the build. Big thank you to all of our channel patrons that power the channel through Patreon. Thank you for your continued support over the years. We really appreciate you all so much. Big thank you to all of our channel sponsors today. Card Conduit, that is the best spot that you can go to sell your Magic the Gathering cards. Take your unused singles, ship them out to Card Conduit. Card Conduit is a buy list website. They're going to do all the work for you. They're going to work to get you the best prices for your cards with their buy lists. You do everything through their site. It's super simple, and they are just going to send you money. And with that money, take it on over to Dragon Shield and protect your cards with the best sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and all other accessories that you don't even know about. Go on over to Dragon Shield, take a look over there. Make sure to use our code so that you can save. You can find links to everything, all of our sponsors, in the description of the video. And also shout out to TCG Player. That's a spot that you can go to buy singles at rock bottom prices. There are thousands of sellers that are competing for your dollar. Get your singles at great prices by using TCG Player. And then also Moxfield, which again, we're going to heavily use in this video. Everything we build in this box here, we're going to take on over to Moxfield. We're going to port it in. We're going to take a look at the deck and what we build and just see kind of like how it turned out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. Let's get into the box. Gods of Magic, Gods of Might, bless our blessed packs tonight. Again, the Command Tower, the Soul Ring, and the Signet. This is something that we're adding. This is something that just exists so that we can make sure whatever we build out of here makes sense. We give ourselves that one allowance. Other than that, every single card in here, every single card for the deck has to come from the Mystery Booster 2 box. I don't think we're going to have too much trouble just because this is a product that has such a wild array of cards. We do have our Secret Lair stuff, which we knew that was going to be in here. We do have our Animar and Friends, which is pretty sweet. We will set that stuff aside because that is not what this video is about. This video is about the Mystery Booster 2 box. Leave it in the comments right now. What do you think is going to happen? What are we going to pull? Are we going to pull something fun? We're going to pull something spicy, something really good? Let's go ahead and crack in. There are 24 packs in here. That gives us a little bit of a challenge. The reason it's a challenge is because there are fewer packs that we're going to go ahead and make this with. We are looking for a 100 card commander deck. All right, let's open up and crack in and see what we can find. I'm just going to sort everything by color, and then I'm going to put all of our commanders in one spot as well. That way we are able to kind of take a look at exactly what our options are. So let's set these to the side, and we're going to do the fun part, which is the cracking cards. Let's see what we get in our 24 Mystery Booster 2 packs. I really like this. Oh, Reconnaissance. Wow. Right out the gate, a copy of Reconnaissance. Love this card. And it is fun. They put all of them in order, so you're going to get 2 white cards, then 2 blue cards. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you draw a card. That's such a good card. And they're in Wooburg order. So that's pretty cool. We got Wing Splicer. Wing Splicer's good. Let's set these over here a little bit. Mesmeric Fiend. When it comes into play, target opponent reveals his or her hand and you choose an online card from it. Remove that card from the game. Pretty cool. Got Nizumi. We got Giant Cindermaw. Trampled, players can't gain life. That's just like a good generic red card. Got Brute Force. You may be like, why are the cards in the background blurry? Because the camera has a focus. So if this is up close, it's going to be in focus. And if it's back here, it's going to be out of focus. Got an Enlarge. Hunter's Mark. We have a dual card here. Our rare is an Ambush Commander. Maybe not the best thing that we want, but kind of cool if we go like an elf kind of thing. Then we have a, wow, definitely a misprint, like that ink. We didn't get the second layer of ink here. So we do have Sword of the Meek. That is a good card. It's definitely a good card. We'll set our white border stuff to the side, and then we have a Relic of Progenitus. I know right now Ketramos is like, ooh, baby, we like this. Then I'm going to set all these to the side because we're not going to use them. You might be like, no, the playtest cards. Yeah, we'll get over it. We will definitely get over those. All will be good. All will be one, even. Raffian's Informant. Raise the alarm, put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. I like that they use that art. Thassa's Emissary. Windstorm Drake. Raider's Wake. Feel free to put the video in slow motion, baby. If you need to put it in slow motion, you go for it. Red, we got Chandra Pyromancer, or Chandra Novice Pyromancer. Got some Saber Ants. This is our first green card. Then we have a Hedge Troll. Nice green-white kind of thing going on. Squeeze Embrace is our dual color card. We have a Liesa, Shroud of Dusk, as our rare. It's fun. Then an Iona, Shield of Emeria, again with this faded text. It looks like my box like kind of missed the last layer of ink. Maybe all my white border cards are just going to be, I don't know, kind of weird and faded looking. Iona, if it hadn't already been banned in Commander, this would be what we would consider to be a bomb, chat. And then we do have a Ruination as our Future Sight border card. That's pretty cool. And then something I'm not going to read that. Let's keep it going. Playtest cards, they're just like not my jam. And I'm sure some of you are like, but dude, you got to build something out of one of the playtest cards. So far, right now, our best option at a commander is Liesa, but we're going to keep on digging. We are fresh into this. Armored Ascension on a Golden Glow Moth. What a time to be alive. Exhaustion. It's kind of fun. We do find our first artifact from the box. It's Scrapwork Rager. I'll put our artifacts over here. Actually, we'll put our artifacts up here. Siege Gang Lieutenant. That's cool. Belduvian Warlord. We got a Firecat Blitz. Spider Silk Armor is going on. That's our first green card. Battle Wood Crasher here. We have a Skittering Surveyor. I like this card. Oh my god, what a throwback. It's a cryptic command from Iconic Masters, or what we called it back in the day, chat. Ironic Masters. Ironic Masters. Cryptic command, though. Good card. Used to be a thing. Shout out to Modern. And then a Dead Ringers. Put our rares over here. Dead Ringers, again, that layer. I'm going to guess that all of my white cards are going to have that issue. Ooh, Senior Vampire. I kind of like want to force Vamps. Because we have Liesa. Liesa is flying lifelink, so lifelink matters. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you've cast a spell from your command zone, pay 2 life that many times. I really do like that alternate cost. So Senior Vampire is our Future Sight card, and then we have Omen Path to Naya is our playtest. Just keep it going here. I think we've got some interesting options, and we still have barely cracked into any of these packs. Wanderer's Strike, this could just be some good generic removal for this deck. I think, depending on what we open, we could figure out, what the bracket of this deck is, and that's going to be fun as well, because over on Moxfield, they have the whole bracket system over there loaded in. Order of Yawgmoth. Bushmeat Poacher. Gorilla Shaman. Got Hordling Outburst. That's fun. Colony Garden. We finally have found a land. We'll put our land down here. Okay, Adversary is our uncommon here. Relic of Legends. Add 1 mana of any color. Tap an untapped legendary creature you control. Add 1 mana of any color. This is a good card, chat. It's a pretty good card. We like that. Relic of Legends. And then we have Grothma All Devouring, another mythic. Other creatures you control have whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight. Gothma All Devouring, so 10-8 for 5. Whenever it leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Gothma this turn by sources they controlled. So pretty good if you're the red player who deals a crap ton of damage to it. Then we have a Temporary Truce is our white border card. Each player may draw up to 2 cards for each card less than 2 a player draws this way. That player gains 2 life. Interesting. And Underworld Breach. Well, we definitely know that this is a card. It's fun to find the Future Sight version of it. Wondering what my Future Sight version or Future Sight foil is going to be, or if we even get lucky enough to find one in this. All right, Hand of Honor. We do have an Imposter of the 6th Pride. Submerge. I like Submerge. If a player controls a forest and you control an island, you may play Submerge without paying its mana costs. Killer Whale. We do have Ultimate Price. Nice removal there. The Vile Requiem. Like finding Ultimate Price. That's a good card to add into any generic deck. Just like generic removal can be really good a starting place for a budget commander deck. Pollenbright Druid. Llanowar Visionary. Angelic Shield. And a Soulfire Grandmaster. We like to see this too. We're just over here pulling mythics, everybody. Ancient Grudge. You could barely even read the text. Jeez. Good card though. And Gish. You may return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand rather than play this spell's mana cost and draw 2 cards. It's pretty sick, not gonna lie. And Abbot of the Sacred Meeple. Cute. 3 packs left in column 1. I'm already seeing some really good stuff. And once we get done, I'm going to take a look at, what we're building and give you some ideas. Angel of Vitality. Seeing like some good white-black. There's part of me that's like, we're looking for another legend other than Liesa. Possibly something 3-color would be really good. Frogify. Dream Thrush. Raven's Crime. Shambling Ghast. Fearless Scald. Pitchstone Wall. Ram Through. Crashing Boars. Dingus Staff is our artifact. Rite of Replication is a good card. Takes me back to when we first started playing around the Zendikar times. And Mystic Sanctuary. This was a pretty cool card that came out of, I believe it was Throne of Eldraine, if I recall correctly. We do have Death's Shadow in the Future Sight frame. Love to see that. That's really cool. And Lich Duel's Mastery is our playtest card. But man, that Death Shadow looks really neat. Love to see it. Alrighty, 2 packs left in this box here. Or 2 packs left in this column, rather. Let's see if we can find something spicy. Clarion Spirit. Fanatical Devotion. Spectral Sailor. Deceiver Exarch. Bloodthrone Vampire. That's a fun little cheap cost. Oubliette. God, there's just so much love for black-white so far. Immolating Soul Eater is our artifact. Boots of Speed. I'm going to put this in the red pile because it's got red all over it rather than in the generic artifacts. We do have Frog Tunge. Bookworm. Shield of the Oversoul. And then we have Empowered Auto Generator. Enters the battlefield, tap, put a charge counter on Empowered Auto Generator for tap, add X mana of any one color where X is the number of charge counters on it. That seems pretty interesting. It's kind of cool. And Yorion. Oh, man. Interesting. Okay. Yorion popping on in here. Followed by Equilibrium. Equilibrium is our future sight card. And we get Mox Poison. Love to see the art finally make it on this. Add 1 mana of any color, you get 2 poison counters. This is the kind of shit that I like. I would put this in cube. I hate on a lot of the playtest cards, but this one's pretty sweet. I draft that all day, baby. That's in cube. We are drafting Mox Poison. Let's just say that. Silver Knight. Evangel. Forbid. Shadow Rift. We have Attempted Murder. Choose target creature. Roll X 6-sided die. Corrupt. Barbatterfist. There is Outrider. Trumpeting Herd. This guy's our Spider. We have Backlash. And Cloth. Okay, so Cloth is kind of cool. Cloth is definitely something if we want to go a different direction and go red-green and 5. Flying Haste 4/4. Whenever Cloth Unrivaled Ancient attacks, add X mana of any combination of colors where X is the total power of attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. This is pretty sweet and gives us another interesting option for a commander for the deck if we decide to go red-green. Get a fairy there, and then a Cabal Ritual. We like to see Cabal Ritual. This is definitely a card that's very good and gives us another reason to go into black. Pretty sweet. Getting into our second column, where will our future sight foil be? I would love to see it. What card will it end up being? Oh man. I'm nervous, but also excited. Crow and Phalanx. Fairy Seer. Daring Saboteur. Darkside Chef. We have Soul Drinker. Light up the stage. Get 2 Slinger. Get 2 slinging, why don't ya? Salvage. Streetwise Negotiator. Replicating Ring. Cavalier of Flame. Little mythic action right after finding that cool red-green card. Like to see the Cavalier. King's Assassin. Destroy target tap creature. Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. Dude, I am getting so many... Oh, just so many vibes that we need to just go black-white Liesa. And just go black-white good stuff. Lots of removal. Find Goblin Charbelcher. Oh, this is a funny card. I remember when this was printed in, I believe, Eternal Masters. It's been a minute. Then we do have Planewalker is our playtest card. Judgment. Sunder the Gateway. Oh, God. The more of these, like, modal cards that we find, the more I'm just like, yep, we're going black-white. Unless we get, like, some big, huge signal to go a different commander, like, get something that's, like, 3-color or even 4-color. I don't know if that's in here. I'm kind of thinking we're just going to go with black-white stuff. Glowstone Hellion. Volcanic Spray. And as you get used to opening more and more of these products... Especially if you're opening it with the intention of building a deck out of it, like you really want to get the most out of it. You got your Dragon Shield sitting next to you, and you're like, man, I'm just itching to build a new deck. Then yeah, you'll start to see signals and what you like to play and what you're interested in. We have Darksteel Ingot here, and love to see this because we already have our Soul Ring, our Signet, our Command Tower. So having another way to fix mana is good. We'll set that up here. Then we have Questing Beast. Questing Beast, really, really, really good card if we do decide to go red-green. This takes me back to Throne of Eldraine. Man, this card was such a house. And then Expressive Iteration in white border. White border faded text is what I'm going to call this. We got that white border faded text, and then we got a Smokestack. Man, I mean, this is like the namesake card of stacks. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a soot counter on Smokestack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each soot counter on Smokestack. So it's a pretty good card. It's also a really fun challenge because you're building from whatever you open. So you don't get to just like pick a commander. You kind of have to like deal with what you get. I like this. Creatures you control have death touch. Creatures your opponents control lose death touch and can't have or gain death touch. It's pretty sweet. Chain of Smog. That's a fun old card. Slavering Nulls. Bolt Bend is pretty sweet. Avenging Druid. We got Wickerboro Elder. And we have Puppet Strings. Tap or untap target creature. It's kind of cool. Ooh, Oath of Nissa. We know all about the Oath of Nissas. And a snow-covered mountain. That's pretty fun. Followed by a Seeker of the Skybreak. Untap target creature. That's kind of good if we do decide to go red-green. We like this. This is a really fun effect. In that Future Sight frame. Decks made out of this are also going to look really wild because you got the white border cards. You got the Future Sight cards. We're not playing the playtest cards because we're not maniacs over here, man. But other than that, yeah, these decks are going to look pretty crazy. I do think that if you were to build this and wanted to amend it and build with the playtest cards, having stuff like Fetching Garden, for example, is really good because you're able to fix. So there's some of you that might be like, man, you're holding your deck back by not using the playtest cards. And yeah, just, you know, that's something that is like a personal preference. But I would say, you know, whatever's good with your play group, build that way. I like Dead Weight just being a nice way to kill stuff for 1 black. Got Faithless Salvaging. Oh, Reckless Bushwhacker. This is played in the 8 whack deck. Got Cudgel Troll. Far Wanderings is pretty good as well. We have Patchwork Automaton. Pretty sweet. We do have Narset's Reversal is our rare. Choose target instant or sorcery, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. And a White Border Collector Oof with Faded Text, man. All right, that's what we got. And a Scale Lord Reckoner. So this is really good if we do decide to go white-black. We just want to have like some good stuff. Whenever dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. So for example, you play this for 2 white and 3, get a flying 4/4, and then it has this for itself. It says whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability. So this would check itself. Now we do find Wowzer, the Aspirational. We have a Waste, a White, a Blue, a Black, a Red, a Green, and a Snow permanent. Legendary Snow Creature Worm, 10/10. Whenever it attacks, you may have, if you have energy, control a blood, a clue, and a food, and a map, and a power stone, and a treasure, and a oh, you win the game. No, we're not playing that. Impossible. I was like, here we go, a legend that puts us into all colors, and then I'm like, it's unplayable. We're not going to be able to get all of that stuff in our deck dependably, so we're not even going to try to do it. As hard as it was to open that pack, this is probably going to be the pack that has the foil in it. Rush of Vitality. Kurt Champion. Volcanic Hammer. 3 damage to target creature or player. I mean, I don't hate that. Sorcery Speed. Togo. Gemhide Sliver. Elven Bow. Unmake. The Water Veil. Boo, boo. I boo this card. Mystical Dispute. And a Ball Lightning. I am finding fun stuff in red that I'm kind of interested in playing. A Pinchy McStingbutt. Oh, that's a pretty good name. I think I'm a fan of that. I would like to see somebody cosplay as that. Anybody think they can cosplay as a Pinchy McStingbutt? It'd be pretty fun. Banishing Light, even more. Jeez, I mean, there's just so much good stuff in black-white. Liesa right now. I'm kind of interested in that. Sign in Blood. Jeez, there's so much good black-white. Enters the battlefield, create a treasure, sacrifice another creature or treasure to draw a card. That's really good in Commander. So far, chat, right now, it is looking like black-white. Tyvar's Stand is green. We got Treetop Village. We like to see this. Treetop Village is pretty cool. I'm pretty sure this was like a... Oh, this is definitely used in something. I just forget what it is. Blood Tithe Harvester. And then we also have Bishop of Wings. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Liesa is an angel. I do believe. Yes. Oh man, so many good signals pointing to Liesa being our commander of the deck. Kind of feeling like that's the direction we're going to go. Let's move some stuff over here really quick. Let me get our commander in here. Yeah, I think this is possibly our best bet at a commander right now, Liesa. Bishop of Wings, followed by an Aethersworn Canonist. Is our rare. And then... Wait a minute, that is a foil. Oh man, we got to slow roll it, baby. All right, what is it? It is an artifact foil. Oh, wow. Is this going to be like just heat? Oh, God, we got to slow roll it. What's it going to be? Oh, my God, what is this? What's its casting cost? Ooh, wow. Foil Grafdigger's Cage is our future sight foil. Did I not say because this pack felt like... Oh man, I wish that had been a soul ring, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. That is a really cool card to find in foil. Grafdigger's Cage. We found a foil. Maybe, just maybe, we'll end up finding another one, but that is pretty sweet. And then we find a spaceship. So Grafdigger's Cage foils. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. So that's pretty sweet. Angelic Exhaustion. I mean, dude, so much good white. Sacrifice Benevolent Bodyguard. Target creature you control gains protection from color of your choice until end of turn. That's pretty sweet. You have Dissipate. Manowar. Shadow Prophecy. Skeletal Changeling. I mean, this having Regenerate is good. Two-Handed Axe. Arc Lightning. Whenever Brood hatched and Tuco is dealt damage, you may put that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens into play, and it has Morph. Tear Asunder. It's pretty cool. Growl War Chant. Kind of matches if we want to go Cloth. We have Peer into the Abyss. Target opponent draws cards equal to the number of cards in their... Excuse me. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and then loses half their life round up each time. Kind of a back-breaking card if we decided to go that direction. Then we do have Veteran Explorer, followed by Demonic Consultation. Man, we are just opening a lot of really good stuff in here so far. A lot of hits. And then a split card. That's silly. Last pack, center column, and then we've got our final 8 packs, and then we are going to go ahead and start building our deck. Where Priest of Thune enters, destroy target enchantment. I mean, that's good. Glimmerpost Stag enters, exile another target permanent, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. I mean, like, these 2 cards just right here. Play this, blink it, kill it. Got Piracy Charm, Pirate's Prize, so Piracy Charm, Pirate's Prize, Darkmoor Plague, Guiltleaf Winnower. Guiltleaf Winnower is great. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. This is going to be fantastic in a casual commander deck. You would absolutely want to run something like that. Plundering Barbarian, Reckless Barbarian, Atraxas Fall, Nissa's Judgment, Gemstone Mine is in here. Dude, Gemstone Mine is so good! Gemstone Mine is good! Ancestor Dragon, flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain 1 life for each attacking creature. This is generically good 6-cost dragon in white. Yes, we like this. Throes of Chaos. Mana Short is our future sight. Tap all lands target player controls, and that player loses all unspent mana. That's pretty sweet. And Spasm Strategist is our playtest card. Final 8 packs. Gods of Magic, Gods of Might, bless our blessed packs tonight. I'm going to take a sip of the beverage. It's just a root beer. Big thank you again to all of our channel sponsors, Card Conduit. That is where you are going to go to sell your MTG cards. It is a buy list site, and it is a fantastic resource for the player that just has too much stuff piling up. I know that I have a list of cards that I need to get out that I would love to get sold, and I'm going to use Card Conduit to do so. And when you do, you can protect your cards with Dragon Shield, buy more cards at TCG Player, and then we are going to use Moxfield again at the end of this video to organize everything that we build so that we can very quickly and easily look at it on the internet. We have Valorous Stance, just like more and more cards that are like, Jake, you're going white, dude. Going white, black. Very Guide Mother. And again, you can find links to all of our sponsors in the description of the video. Got the Merciless Executioner. Enters the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a creature. Oh god, it's so good. Pawn of Ulamog pairs nicely with that. Pawn of Ulamog comes in. We play the Merciless Executioner, sacrifice the spawn. Everything is great. Invigorated Rampage, Blaze, Elite Cat Warrior, Cryptoplast Rootkin, Letter of Acceptance from Strixhaven. Add 1 mana of any color. Sacrifice it, draw a card. This is not bad in a casual commander deck. I kind of like what's going on with this monolith here. Oh, Bone Crusher Giant. Is this enough for me to just be like, screw white, black, we're just going green, red? Love Bone Crusher. Nope. Just like that. Sarah the Benevolent showing up saying, no, I think you're going to want to probably just stick with the black-white plan. For -3 on this, we create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. I mean, that's good. We're in like an Angels Matters kind of thing. We want to play this. Lotus Petal. Oh, baby. We want to play this. Lotus Petal is great. Very excited to see Lotus Petal. We take this. We take Lotus Petal. And then TLDR. I'm not going to read it. There's no time. Finding that Lotus Petal is pretty sweet. That gives our deck some, gets us close into that game changer territory. Ooh, we're playing fast mana. Release the dogs. Blink of an eye. Brilliant Plane. Audacious Thief. Whenever it attacks, you draw a card and you lose a life. We love that. Diregraph Ghoul. Lightning Mauler. Price of Progress. We got Travel Prep as our green card. Hydra's Growth is a fantastic card. I don't know if it's enough to put us into red-green because I'm really on this white-black kick right now. White-black Liesa. That's seeming very good. Pearl Shard for 3. We get an artifact from Mirrodin. 3 in tap or white. Tap. Prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn. This card looks pretty sick. Man. Dragon Lair Spider. Reach. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. This is good. This is really good. So we are between black, red, and cloth. Is that another foil? No. No, it isn't. Nope, definitely not. It's about to be like, no way. Mind Break Trap. And if it had been, baby, oh my goodness gracious. That would have been pretty wild. I don't know if we're going to get lucky enough to find a second card in here, but finding the Mind Break is pretty sweet. If this had been pre-reprint, you've heard on this channel, we always talk about it. Cards like this that are scarce are extremely expensive typically. But since it's been reprinted, it is pretty, it's pretty affordable. There are so many good things that we're pulling in this Future Sight frame. God, I love this product. This product is good. This is a really good product. Sen's Enlistment. Sir Alan, the Lion's Claw. Silver Mirror. Fumble. Vow of Malaise. Oh, wait. Silver Mirror is blue. Vow of Malice. +2/+2 has Intimidate and can attack you or a planeswalker you control. This is so good in Commander. Got black-white. It's going to be really hard not to do black-white. Pay 3 life, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. If we're in Lifelink, that could be something that we play just because we want to get some stuff out of range of removal, possibly. Something like that. Rockslide. Battlecry Goblin. Wilt. Bloom Hulk. Got a Terramorphic Expanse. We like this for our casual commander deck. We're a fan. Oh, baby. It's Vindicate. It is Vindicate. We're playing white-black today, everybody. We're building white-black. If you don't like it, you know where the door is. The door is it's the proverbial back button. You can go wherever you want. You can close the tab, but we're probably going white-black. We got Deathrite Shaman in that white border frame. Love to see it. And then Tinker as an additional cost to cast a spell, sack an artifact, search your library for an artifact card, put that card on the battlefield. Ooh, baby. And then this is a card that I recently played in draft, and I had 2 of them at the top of my deck, and this was my my finisher, for lack of a better word, if you can even call it that. Not a bad card. First strike, vigilance, 3/8. It's hella hard to kill. Super hard to kill. Amazing blocker. Kills stuff. We're down to 5 packs here, chat. Final 5 packs, and then it is going into build mode. We have not got a lot of like really good blue. Azorius Herald, Kami of False Hope, sacrifice this, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. We like this in Commander. It's essentially a flag bearer. Spreading Seas. Especially if they want to swing at you, they got to kill that thing. Got to kill that thing first. If they want to swing at you with a meaningful attack. You got Time of Ice, Feigned Death, Reanimate. Ooh, man. God, Reanimate at common, just like chilling. Baby. Oh, man. I'm a fan. Find some prisoners. You got Keldon Champ, Young Wolf. Better than Old Wolf. Tail Swipe. Steel of the Godhead. And then Hell's Caretaker is our rare. Sacrifice a creature. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield to activate this ability only during your upkeep. This seems pretty good. Especially if we have some token synergy and we could get back some of our big stuff. I think we play this. We do have Rite of Flame as our white border card. And then the Rack. Enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. At the beginning of chosen player's upkeep, the Rack deals X damage to that player, where X is 3 minus the number of cards in their hand. If somebody is playing like Reliquary Tower and they're in big blue, they're like just drawing a ton of cards, you're probably going to want to run the Rack. This seems good against that player. This is typically a card that you're going to see in constructed decks, though. I don't see it very much in Commander. Not all that often. 4 packs remain. Flicker Wisp. That's a good card as well. Flicker Wisp is good. Griffin Guide. +2/+2 and it has flying. Whenever a trained creature dies, create a 2/2 white Griffin. That's kind of cool. Scholar of the Ages. Owl Flame. Familiar. Death Greeter. Scary. Scary! Summon Undead. Changeling Berserker. Furnace Punisher. Guy's Embrace. Bazaar Tower Archer. Cogwork Librarian. This card is so fun because during draft you can use it to get yourself 2 picks out of a pack. I love drafting this card. Very fun. And then we have a Pernicious Deed and a Treasure Cruise. And Greater Good. Ooh, man. Greater Good. Future Sight Border. Oh, it's a pretty good card. Pretty good card. I think there's like a case for Cloth in there. It might be the kind of thing where 2 decks could be built. I'm going to pick one, but I do think that there's definitely probably some sort of red-green pile that you could build in addition to the black-white pile. Blue, I'm not so interested in, and it's not because I just hate blue with all of my being. It's just because, you know, it's like, I haven't seen anything splashy in blue that's really stood out. I will go through and look and see if there's like a commander, what our commander options are, but as of right now, I think it's Cloth and Liesa. That Boonweaver Giant, that's kind of cool. Set Adrift. Moment of Defiance. Diabolic Servitude. It's kind of good. Anger. Oh man, that's another good case for red-green. Whenever Cheering Fanatic attacks, choose a card named spells with the chosen name costs 1 less. Savage Conception. Seed Guide Ash. Mystic Monastery. If we were in Jeskai, this would be a really good addition to our deck. Ironscale Hydras are rare. If a creature would deal combat damage to Ironscale Hydra, prevent that damage and put a 1/1 counter on it. It's good. It's good. And a Jace Bellerin. Wow, does this one take me back. White Border Jace Bellerin, Baby Jace was what they called this. And it was funny because the Planeswalker rule back in the day when everybody was playing Mind Sculptor, this was a card that people would sideboard just so they could play it and kill Jace the Mind Sculptor with it. You would just play this, Legend rule, and they would both kill each other. So if you were playing against Jace, you play this. There could only be one Jace on the battlefield. It was before that rule had changed. And so this would effectively come out and kill the Jace. Then we have Rot Hulk at 5 and 2 other for Menace. Enters the battlefield. Return up to X zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have. This is pretty good. I don't think we're going to be able to play it in Liaza because we don't have a very strong zombie package. So I don't think it's just generically good enough to want to play a 5/5 Menace for 7. That doesn't really bring a lot of upside with it. 2 packs remain. And then after this, we got last pack Magic. Karametra's Blessing, +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's enchanted, gains hexproof and destructible. That's pretty good. Shepherd of the Flock. Instant, return target permanent you control to its owner's hand, and then you get a 3/1. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Merfolk. Oviomancer. This is good. Oviomancer is strong. You have Keeper of the Dead. Destroy target non-black creature. Play this ability only if that creature's controller has at least 2 fewer creature cards in his or her graveyard. That's pretty good. Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Flying. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on it. This card can get out of hand if you have a good life game package. Thopter Engineer. Lava Dart. Elephant Ambush. Song of Freyles. Inside Out. Quain. Pretty cool. And a Tarnished Citadel. Add 1 mana of any color. It deals 3 damage to you. If we had to be in tricolor, we'd probably run this, but we are not going to need this card. And then a Mind Twist. Target player discards X cards at random. We're totally playing this. It's super mean, and our excuse is, well, guys, we opened it in the box. What do you want from me, man? We opened the card. We're going to play Mind Twist. We're going to play Mind Twist because that card is mean. That card exists, and it's right there. Last pack Magic. Here we go. Gods of Magic, Gods of Might. Bless our blessed packs tonight. We have already opened a foil Graph Digger's Cage, so we got a pretty fun Future Sight foil. This is the last pack, and then we're going to go into building mode. Wakestone Gargoyle. Adamant Will. Wash Away. Chittering Rats. Enters the battlefield. Target opponent puts the top card from their hand on top of their library. That's interesting. Puts a card. Sorry, not the top card. Jesus. Blot Out. Target opponent exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value. I mean, that's good. It's good. That can hit a Hullbreaker Horror. That's pretty sweet. Forked Lightning. Dwarven. Viridian. Invig. Stang. Stang, if we were in cloth, we might go this. We do have a rare. It's a Varchild. Legendary creature, Human Knight. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player creates that many 1/1 red survivor creature tokens. Survivors your opponent's control can't block, and they can't attack you or a planeswalker you control. All right. And our final white border card. It is a common. It's a snow-covered swamp. We love this. We play this. And our final Future Sight is a Snuff Out. That is pretty sweet. You do find Snuff Out if you control a swamp. You may pay 4 life rather than pay this spell's mana cost to destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. So that's a pretty cool card, and we don't care about the playtest card. Let's go ahead and take a look at our legends, and we're going to see what we can come up with that we're going to be able to use. So our option for legends were actually quite random. Togo, it's okay, but it's kind of cool what they end up giving us. We have Yorion, which could be an option. Your starting deck contains at least 20 more cards than the minimum deck size. Iona, this is banned, so we can't do anything with it. This puts us into mono green, so we're just going to avoid that as well. Cloth ends up being a possible option. Flying Haste, whenever Cloth attacks, add X mana in any combination of colors where X is the total power of attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. All right, Questing Beast, that also puts us into mono green, so that can't be our commander. Liesa is another really good option. For a black, 2 white, and 2, you're getting a 5/5. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you've cast a spell from the command zone this game, pay 2 life that many times. So you got flying, lifelink. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. I think that this is extremely strong. We have lifelink built in. It's a card that's going to tax our opponents. This is where I'm really leaning. Then we have Quain, which isn't awful. Whenever each player may draw a card, then each player who drew a card this way gains 1 life. Kind of like a group hug rabbit. I don't really feel like building this, so I'm going to set this to the side. Stang, which again, if we are going red-green, we're just going to go cloth. And then this puts us into mono-red, so Varchild is out. So ultimately, what that leaves us with is Liesa and cloth. And because this one's red-green, and I just saw so much that's just going to work really well with Liesa, my tendency is to go with Liesa. So let's go ahead and choose this as our commander. And what we're going to do is we're going to set all this stuff to the side that we're not using. We're going to start building with black-white. All right, so like we just mentioned, we are going with Liesa. This is the stuff that we have available in each of our categories. Our foil, we have the Grafdigger's Cage, which we may end up using depending on what we have available and what all here makes sense. From our future site, we have the Relic, Vampire, Death Shadow, Smokestack. Now, not saying all of this is going to get used, but it's an option. Charbelcher, Cabal Ritual, Scale Lord, Demonic Consultation, Lotus Petal, which is sweet, the Rack, which we already mentioned, Snuff Out, which is good, Mind Twist, and Rot Hulk. Now, not all of this is going to be used. White border, we've got Temporary Truce, Dead Ringers, Sword of the Meek, King's Assassin, Fairy, Aethersworn Canonist, Sarah, and Snow Covered Swamp that are at our disposal. And then we have all of our commons and uncommons that we opened. We've got all of our common, uncommon white cards that we opened. The only lands that are going to be relevant to our deck are a Terramorphic Expanse, and then the cards that we gave ourselves here. We have our Signet, our Soul Ring, and our Command Tower, which these are cards that we're allowing ourselves so that we can go ahead and build the deck and have a deck that's going to be able to sit, hopefully, with like at least some pre-cons or at least some casual decks and still make sense and be able to hold its own a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start building the deck. All right, so as of right now, I've got all of my cards sorted by creature, instant, sorcery, enchantment, and then we do have these two: Unmake, remove target creature from the game, and Vindicate. Like these two, just like premium removal, absolutely are going to make it in the deck. Obviously, so is Sarah, because Sarah the Benevolent and Liesa, they just work so well together. This makes Angels. This is, it's just, it's really cool that we got these. Let's just say that. Creates a 4/4 white angel. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1 until end of turn. That's really good as a +2. This is flying and lifelink, so it's going to protect the planeswalker well. So it's just like really good synergy. Let's go ahead and continue building and see what we can find as far as creatures that work well in white and black. I know that I want our deck to have about 30 creatures, so I think we found some good black creatures and some good white creatures. We're just going to go ahead and lay these out. I'm picking stuff that's kind of like generically good, like Guiltleaf Winnower. When this enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature. Stuff that regenerates Skeletal Changeling. We have to remember that we're building around a certain constraint, so we're going to have to build stuff that is just generically good. One black, one other, sack an artifact or creature, draw a card. This is a great card if, say, your opponent goes to path something. Well, you might as well just sacrifice it instead. Get that draw in there. Stuff like Fairy Macabre. Just because you got a 2/2 flyer, but you can discard it to exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. If your opponent has graveyard synergy, This is something that you're probably going to like. Stuff like King's Assassin, destroy target tap creature, activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. Even Death Shadow, I think, is kind of interesting. Actually, I mean, this is probably a cut just because in Commander, it's never going to be super relevant. So we're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And then just stuff like Singular Vampire, just because it's generically good. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Vampire dies, put a 1/1 counter on Singular Vampire. So stuff like that is just going to be generically good. Let's take a look at white. Shepherd of the Flock. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand, and then it can come back as a 3/1. Flicker Wisp for blinking things. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. First Strike. Whenever it attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1. This thing also is blinking things. War Priest of Thune. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target enchantment. Blink it. Do it again. Benevolent, because it's pretty much like a flag bearer. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of choice until end of turn. Master Splicer, because it's another thing that's good to blink. Bring a 3/3 colorless golem. When this enters the battlefield, you gain a life and draw a card, so it cantrips itself. Creatures you control get +1/+1 in Vigi until end of turn. Activate only during your turn. You got a board full of stuff. Use white and 3 other. Go ahead and do that. This has cycling, lifelink. Whenever you cycle it, put a lifelink counter on a creature you control. Just like good generic versatility. And all these other cards, and we're going to talk about them in Moxfield as well. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white spirit. This also has, if you would gain life, you gain that much life +1. Our commander has lifelink. There is synergy going on. Changeling 3/1. It's kind of mid. This will probably be a cut if we get down to where we need cuts, but it's not awful. We have protection for black, Bushido 1. When this blocks or becomes blocked, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's not amazing. It'll probably be a cut, but for now, it's something that we can kind of work with. Raffine's Informant, Rambunctious Mutt. Whenever it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. Another thing that's really good to blink. Typically in Commander, we want something like this that's cheaper, but we're going to work with what we got. Angelic Page, Bishop of Wings, just because this works amazingly with our Commander. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So like this is going to work well with Changeling. I don't think it's enough to run the Changeling, but it's just a thought. Ancestor Dragon. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain 1 life for each attacking creature, and then Scale Lord Reckoner. So we do have 2 dragons that kind of play off each other here, which is kind of fun, especially with this one that says, whenever a dragon you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, an opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. So there's a lot going on there as well, and I do think that this is a nice kind of like base of creatures to start building our deck from. Now let's go ahead and take a look at instants and sorceries and see what kind of removal we have in this deck, because removal is always important. Removal is always important. All right, let's talk instants and sorceries, because this is pretty fun as well. Got Blot Out. Target opponent exiles a creature, planeswalker with they control with the greatest mana value. We have a lot of this stuff. Moment of Defiance. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Draw a card. I like this because it cantrips. We don't want to run too much of this stuff, but like target creature gets +1/+0, gains lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. We have a lot of like lifelink and something else until end of turn. Here's Indestructible, Death Touch till end of turn. We're not going to run a ton of these because we just have so much. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. We want to be running like removal, ultimate price, destroy target monocolor creature, snuff out. Having a couple tricks that give something indestructible is good, but ultimately I don't think we're going to run a ton of those. We also have in white, target creature gets +2/+2. If it's enchanted, or an enchantment creature also gains hexproof and indestructible. This is a cut just because there's not enough synergy that works with it, so we'll set that to the side. Adamant Will, +2/+2 and indestructible. Valorous Stance. We have indestructible, but also destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. This is good. This is good versatility. Radiance Judgment. Destroy target creature, power 4 or greater. It also has cycling. We run this. If we can't use it, we cycle it. And then also Raise the Alarm isn't bad. Put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield. We have a Dockside Chef. Being able to sacrifice creatures to draw cards is always good. And then we do have a Vindicate and an Unmake, which are just great. One's a sorcery, one's an instant. And the sorcery segues nicely into our sorceries. For white sorceries, each player may draw up to 2 cards. We've got Exile target creature, then Proliferate. Not bad. We have Destroy target non-token artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. And then Incubate 2 and Incubate 2, then transform an Incubator token you control. Not that great. We have Sen's Enlistment. Put 2 1/1 white Kithkin soldier creature tokens into play. It also has Retrace, so we may play this card from our graveyard by discarding a land card. This is pretty good, man. Being able to cast this spell again with Retrace is pretty sweet. And then we have Release the Dogs, create 4 1/1 white dog creature tokens. So if we want to go kind of like wide, we have some good white sorceries for that. And for our black sorceries, we have stuff like Mind Twist. This is really good. Peer into the Abyss. Target opponent draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life, round up each time. Dead Ringers. Destroy 2 target non-black creatures unless either one is a color, the other isn't. They can't be regenerated. This is good. We got 2-for-1 stuff. Raven's Crime is in here. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. That player may copy the spell and may choose new targets for the copy. I think we run Chain of Smog just because it can be kind of a backbreaker. Sign in Blood because it's just such a good card. 3 damage to each creature and player. This is the closest we've got to a board wipe, so we're running it. Then we have Summon Undead and Reanimate. Where you bet your butt we're running Reanimate because this is just target creature card from any graveyard into play under your control, lose life equal to its cost. So finding a Reanimate is pretty sweet. We already talked about Sarah. Let's talk about enchantments. Angelic Exaltation, we have Banishing Light. Sack a creature, regenerate target creature. Armored Ascension. Reconnaissance we're going to run just because this card can be such a backbreaker as well. And then Griffin Guide. Probably not going to run that. And Black Enchantments. Destroy up to X target non-black creatures where X is a number of verse counters. That's kind of cool. Oubliette enters the battlefield. Target creature phases out until Oubliette leaves the battlefield. I mean, this is pretty sweet. Oubliette is just good coverage as well. Pay 3 life, put a 1/1 counter. Vow of Malice, and then Dead Weight. Just like a little enchantment aura that works as removal for us at 1 black. Let's go ahead and build the best thing we can. As a reminder, the only thing we're giving ourselves is a Soul Ring, a Signet, and a Command Tower. From our artifact pile, we have Relic of Progenitus. We're not going to run Smokestack. Even though Smokestack works well with our tokens, it's just too much of a backbreaker. We don't really have the deck for it. Charbelcher, no goblins. Lotus Petal, worth running. The Rack, not worth running. Sword of the Meek, equipped creature gets +1/+2 whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your... There's just not going to be enough of this for Sword of the Meek to matter. Skittering Surveyor enters the battlefield. You may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. I don't hate this in a casual commander deck. This is for draft, so we don't run it. Pearl Shard, prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn. This is pretty mid. Pretty mid card. Probably not worth running in the 99. Letter of Acceptance, we'll consider it. Patchwork Automaton, it's mid. Tap or untap target creature puppet strings, it's okay. Darksteel Ingot, I do like ramps, so that might be worth running. Replicating Ring, we also have add 1 mana of any color at the beginning of your upkeep, put a night counter on it. Then if it has 8 or more night counters on it, remove all of them and create 8 colorless snow artifact tokens named Replicating Ring that have 1 mana of any color. So a lot of mana rocks that could come from this, but I think it's probably worth passing on. Empowered Auto Generator, I feel kind of the same way. Enters the battlefield tapped, and then we have to tap it to put counters on it, and it's just like for 4 mana, it's very clunky until we start getting anything out of it. Dingus Staff, whenever a creature is put into any graveyard from play, Dingus Staff deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. I like this. This seems like the kind of thing that's going to hurt everybody, so I think we want to run that. Relic of Legends. Tap and untap legendary creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. We don't have a ton of like legend synergy going on, so as much as I like this card, it's probably going to be a cut. And then Scrapwork Rager. Enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose a life, and it has Unearthed. So this for me is probably a win just because it enters the battlefield and you're drawing cards. With that, we have pretty much everything we need to start building this deck. Let's go ahead and get into it. And I don't think we run Grafdigger's Cage, even though it's a really fun flex. I think the card is just kind of like niche. And we have some stuff that wants to get cards out of graveyards. So we're just not going to run it, but it's cool to add to the collection. Put our commander up here with our starting pile, which is our Arcane Signet, our Soul Ring, and our Command Tower. So for black creatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's see what we get out of white. Got 41 creatures right now, and I feel like that's 42 creatures, including our commander. So let's go ahead and keep on looking at what we got. Let's see if there's anything in here that is like just an obvious cut that we really just don't want anything to do with. Do like the Scrapwork guy. This guy's kind of mid. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. It kind of protects stuff and comes back as a 3/1. It's not awful. It could protect something really good of ours. Flicker Wisp. Inspiring Overseer enters the battlefield. You gain 1 life and draw a card. We love that. All of our 3-drops are pretty good. That puts us at 40 creatures, which leaves us about 24 to 25 slots left in the deck. Let's see what we can fill out with our instants, sorceries, enchantments, and artifacts. And planeswalkers. So 40, which means we want to go like 25 more spells. Now we know 1 is a Soul Ring. We know 1 is a Signet. Liesa makes 41. So it's going to put us at 34 lands. 41 plus 25, that puts us at 34 lands, and we have stuff like Soul Ring and Signet. So yeah, let's go ahead and build this out. So for now, I want to focus just on removal. In white, we have Wanderer's Strike at 5, Banishing Light at 3, Valor's Stance, and Radiant's Judgment. Ultimate Price comes in. Snuff Out comes in. Dead Ringers comes in. We do want to run deck more Plague for 5. Oubliette is really good. Dead Weight I don't hate. And I do like Vow of Malice, but yeah, Unspeakable Symbol, not very good. I mean, it's not awful. Maybe Unspeakable Symbol is worth considering. So as far as just straight up removal goes that we have that wasn't on creatures, we have Dead Weight, Valor, Stance, Ultimate Price, Unmake, Vindicate, Banishing Light, Radiant Judgment, Oubliette, Snuff Out, Dead Ringers, Darkmoor Plague, Wanderer's Strike. Including the Soul Ring, we've got 15 cards here, so we need to bring in 10 more cards. And then we pretty much have a starting spot for this deck. So let's make sure that we pick stuff that's really good. We're going to bring in Reconnaissance. I want to bring in Vow of Malice. Let's see what else we got. This is just like more ramp. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, Dingus Staff deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. This seems kind of good, but also kind of mid. So let's just leave these out. Each player may draw up to 2 cards. For each card less than 2 a player draws this way, that player gains 2 life. Sack a creature to regenerate target creature. This isn't awful. Or actually, we don't have a lot of stuff to sack. Angelic Exaltation seems good. I do like running like a copy of like an Adamant's Will. Whenever an opponent discards a card, they lose 2 life. At the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card. I like kind of passive effects like that. We know we want to run Reanimate. You may mill 3 cards, then return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. No, we want to run Sign of Blood. I do like Chain of Smog. Peer into the Abyss, it seems like a good backbreaker, and then we also want to run Mind Twist. That's a good backbreaker. Cabal Ritual is pretty good. Supernatural Stamina. When until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Blot Out. Moment of Defiance. +1/+0 and Indestructible. No, I do like the draw card on Moment of Defiance. It's kind of good. Target creature Death Touch and Indestructible. So let's run like one more of those effects. Let's go ahead and count what we have here. So we have 30. We want to make like 5 cuts. So let's go ahead and see what we can cut down that makes this deck make more sense. I do think we'll go ahead and cut something like Battle Rage Blessing. That'll be a cut. And then let's go ahead and look through creatures and see if there's anything that's kind of mid in the creature zone. So we know we have 1. Cabal Ritual is good, but I'm gonna cut it. We don't need it that much. $67. Want to cut 2 cards, so let's just go ahead and make a couple cuts. 2 cards. I think Skittering Surveyor can go. I just don't think we really need that, so there's 1. Maybe Peer into the Abyss. As much as I like it, it just seems kind of clunky, so we're just going to go ahead and cut this. It's just kind of mid to me in this deck, and yeah, I think that puts us at a spot where we actually have the deck. All right, so here is the deck that I've come up with. We only have a Command Tower, Terramorphic Expanse, and as a meme, we're going to run the Snow-Covered Swamp just because we opened it. So other than that, the rest of the deck is just going to be basics. But rather than go through all the cards here, let's go ahead and port the deck over to our beautiful sponsor, Moxfield. And we're going to talk more about the deck there. Thanks so much for watching the build. This is what we got. We're going with Liesa, Shroud of Dusk, and I'm really excited about this break and build in this white-black deck. The curve looks nice, and I feel like we've got something here that we can at least sit down with and play that has some really fun stuff. Lotus Petal, Reanimate, some really fun cards in here. Let's go ahead and talk more about the deck. All right, so we went ahead and ported the entire deck over here into Moxfield. You can find it in JAJAM or Magic, Liesa, Mystery Booster 2 Break, and Build. Come on in here and take a closer look. I really love Moxfield for this. You can come in, take a look at exactly what the deck is worth. We're worth a whopping $77.56. It's pretty fun. From a Mystery Booster 2 box, I'm actually really excited about what we ended up with here. We got 37 creatures. We had some extra removal, and there were still some good spells that could have come in. I think we could probably come down a couple creatures. If there's anything that you see that you would cut here, you could go ahead and leave it in the comments. But we've got our Benevolent Bodyguard, Dockside Chef, just everything that we've already talked about here. I feel like the deck would be pretty good right out of the box. We built what we could. In our sorceries, Mind Twist being the big finisher kind of spell, like have target player discard all their cards, is pretty sweet. We have Reanimate, which is a amazing card to come in at common in this set. Chain of Smog, Sign of Blood, the Vindicate, Dakmor Plague is like our board wipe. It's like our big, we're gonna get shit done with Dakmor Plague. Dead Ringers, Wanderer's Strike, and then in instance we have good removal as well with Valorous Stance. Nice kind of modal spell here. Ultimate Price, destroy target monocolor creature. It's not going to be great for commanders, but I guarantee this spell is going to play. That stuff like Adamant Will, these kind of like combat tricks that are going to allow us to give something indestructible. I also like Moment of Defiance. Target creature gets +2/+1 and gains lifelink until end of turn, and then draw a card on that. Seems really good. Destroy target creature power 4 or greater with cycling, unmake, snuff out. Just some really good cards here at instant speed. And then our artifacts, we got lucky, found the Lotus Petal, Relic, Soul Ring, and Signet. Again, we give ourselves the Soul Ring, Signet, and Command Tower. And then the enchantments here are all pretty sweet as well. You got Dead Weight, just a nice little enchantment that's going to give something -2/-2. It might kill something or it's going to shrink something. Reconnaissance is just one of these cards that if attacking matters, being able to remove stuff attacking and from combat is just so strong. Banishing Light, Oubliette, Vow of Malice is a fun card. This is one of the vows that in Commander ends up being really good. You're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give your thing Intimidate, and it can't attack us, and so it's going to be swinging at our opponents. That's pretty fun. And then in a deck with a lot of creatures, but if you don't want to be swinging with a lot of creatures, Angelic Exhaustion is really good. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. And then we have Raider's Wake in here, which is a fun card. And then as you can see, the lands, we gave ourselves the restriction of Command Tower, and then we were able to run a Terramorphic Expanse because we opened it, and a Snow-Covered Swamp as a meme because we opened it. But otherwise, it's a bunch of plains and swamps. A good way to make the deck better right out the gate would be add yourself a Godless Shrine, Isolated Chapel, cards like these that are going to be better than just plains and swamp. Give yourself a fetch land like a Marsh Flats if you want, or you can run any fetch lands that are white and black applicable. So like even though Verdant Catacombs is green-black, you could run that in here. And then, give yourself a couple, some better lands. I would give yourself utility lands, give yourself like a Ghost Quarter so you can answer somebody's like pesky Cabal Coffers or something like that. Give yourself, there's a myriad of really good lands. And if you're in 2-color, you can run some lands that float just the waste mana or the generic mana, just because having effects on your lands that are good is always something that you want in Commander. You want versatility on your lands. You want additional effects on your lands. That way you are able to answer more stuff, and the land slots don't interfere with the other slots of your deck. So this is clearly the spot where many people are going to look at it and go, ew, gross, 16 basic plains, 16 basic swamp. Well, it's a break and build. That was kind of the point of this video. Liesa is really fun. We're going to be casting it for an alternate cost. It has flying and lifelink. A couple other things that I would do because it has lifelink. Basic things that I would add to this are like a Lightning Greaves, something like a Swiftfoot Boots, that kind of stuff. But for a out of the box, get something out of the Mystery Booster 2 that you're opening without just like pulling singles for other decks, I think this is really, really fun. And I think this is a great way to get something out of these expensive products that we're buying. If we're buying expensive stuff, it's really cool to be able to build something with it and actually utilize it. So we really hope you enjoyed this video. You see all these names that are scrolling down. Those are our patrons that are at the $10 level or higher. We appreciate all of them so much. Thank you for your patronage. We do appreciate you for watching this video. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you enjoyed this break and build, we do encourage you subscribe. Come check out another video like this in the future. And until next time, we'll see you on the next break and build. See ya.